local railroads channel where I deal with one of my favorite hobbies, model railroading. I've got another channel that is dedicated to timeless escapism when I just kind of spotlight manga. I do a
Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we set it sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
keep holding on. Hello, everyone. I am your Ice Dragon, Ray Ron. We are coming to you with another episode of the Icy Lair podcast. We are at 20 episode. Man, it seemed like yesterday we started episode 1 with the new rebranding of the podcast on here. And yeah, it's gone through some interesting changes and some evolution, and I am liking where it's going. So, episode 20. Not sure how long this episode's going to last. We do have a few things to talk about, but not too much. But we'll see how it goes. So, first thing we're going to dive into is the complete failure, a Star Wars story. Man, Star Wars just continues to fail on all sorts of fronts. We've got the Elite Cruiser, or whatever cruiser it's called, the rip-off cruiser, I guess is the best way I can describe it. We've got the High Republic that's failing, And then we just got, news of Disney doesn't really know what they're going to be doing with it. So, it is a nightmare to say the least. So, let's go ahead and talk about Star Wars. So, this is from Boundings in the Comic. Star Wars: The High Republic video game reportedly struggling to attract talent. Won't be released until the end of the decade. Wow. Normally, that terminology means that it's been canceled. It's just Disney doesn't want to scare the investors. Because if they cancel a game, investors are going to question that and not give Disney any more money to put into their stocks. A new report claims that recently teased Star Wars: The High Republic video game, Star Wars Eclipse, is struggling to attract developer talent, and it won't even be released until the end of the decade. Alongside the release of the first cinematic trailer, Star Wars explained it was set in the High Republic era, which is definitely failing because, it's not doing that great as far as word of mouth is concerned, and manga continues to laugh, and even at Star Wars, because when I was at my Barnes and Nobles that I went today, I saw that there was only like 2 copies of the High Republic manga Volume 1, and I kind of sifted through it and it was like, it's just not for me. There are much more better stories to buy with your hard-earned money. Alongside the release of the game's first cinematic trailer, Star Wars explained it was set in the High Republic era. Yeah, we read that. The new report comes from Tom Henderson's at Xfire. Henderson previously claimed back in December that Quantum Dreams game was already having development trouble. Henderson stated that YouTube video currently one of the biggest problems with Star Wars Eclipse's development is that Quantum Dream is facing a massive problems with its internal engine. The engine's base archetype was built to run on confined levels with a small number of areas to explore with a very limited amount of AI, he stated. Wow. Oof. Henderson went on to cite an anonymous past developer at Quantum Dream, saying, according to the past developer, this is the reason why Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human are very cinematically driven. It's not because the studio wanted to do something different, but it's because of the engine's capability with Quantum Dream's internal engine. Eclipse is going to be a massive multiplanetary open world, and it's believed that Quantum Dream's internal engine can't simply work on such a game, he claimed. See, this is the part that gets me kind of confused because you have an open world MMORPG already in play with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Or not necessarily the Old Republic, SOTOR. And so now we're starting to have another game that's going to be open world, and now you're trying to ask a different developer to try to develop looks like they're going to have to build a brand new engine, which is not cheap in itself. Engines require a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of coding, a lot of effort, a lot of manpower, and it looks like Quantum Dreams company here just simply said they can't do it, which sucks because this is going to take by the end of the decade. We're in 2022. So you're telling me by 2029, that's 8 years away. 8 years away. That's a lot of time for everyone just to forget what this is going to be about. Is Star Wars even going to be relevant in 8 years? Is the High Republic going to be around during that time? Disney is putting a lot of money, especially with LucasArts, to see if the High Republic is going to be a great success. Because, again, Disney wants the full royalties to everything. So they're banking a lot on this High Republic era because Disney owns 100% of all the royalties when it comes to that Pacific era. So essentially what I can see from this is that the Star Wars Eclipse is Disney's attempt to make sure that they have full royalty over this game so that way they can monetize it. I believe Star Wars The Old Republic, they still have to share with BioWare and so forth. And we shall see what happens with that. So, again, I have no interest in the High Republic. Henderson go on to claim that the studio is already allegedly struggling with the multiplayer side of this game, as will the Quantum Dream's first attempt at a true multiplayer title with multiple players playing at the same time. So now you've also got to build the infrastructure, you got to build the servers and the support and the Oh, what is it? What's that motto they call? Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, that sucks. At the moment, the game has been developed for over 18 months now, but allegedly there's no playable version of the game because these engine problems. Henderson then speculated that Quantum Dream might be looking to be acquired by a larger studio in order to get access to more resources like a new internal engine or to allow them to build a new internally. Yeah. Not easy for being a gaming developer. And this is just one of many High Republic problems. We'll go on to the next one here in a minute, but not only did the details these alleged technical problems, but he went on to claim that the game's development is still suffering from staffing problems and it's currently hiring up to more than a third of its current studio capacity with over 60 jobs available in the Paris studio. He added the studio is allegedly struggling with getting new employment due to the studio's past allegations in which a lot of people looking for gaming jobs in Paris simply do not want to go over to Quantic Dream. Concluding his video, he claimed the game would be the development for another 4 to 5 years. Although he believes there is an acquisition or parts of the project are outsourced, it could be completed in a 3 to 4 year timeline. Again, though, how relevant is the High Republic going to be? I don't think it's going to be relevant. It's not even relevant now in pop culture. If you want to know what's relevant in pop culture, just look at a manga section in any Barnes & Noble or any bookstore. The writing's on the wall. You have lost the next generation. The next generation is literally in the streaming services, watching every anime that they can, every good story that they can, every Korean film that they can. And then you want to talk about the gaming side of the house, you know, Disney has a lot of work to do with these gaming companies. The Elden Ring is doing very, very well as an open world game. That's the type of caliber that they're going to have to compete against. Because I tell you what, gamers are tired of getting burned with day one releases, day one patches. Unplayable, buggy mess. I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk. Yep, so they have to build an entire new engine. They got to have the servers to maintain live action as a service. A service as live action, something like that. I think that's the terminology, but serious, serious trouble. And that's the thing, is like I can't relate to any of this. I didn't grow up with the High Republic. I grew up with the original trilogy. So I guess this just isn't for me. I guess Disney doesn't want my money. I guess these gaming companies don't want their money. Okay. Yeah, so I cannot relate to any of this stuff. A shame. Very, very shame. So that is on the video game side. Now let's go to this Galactic Star Cruiser. So let's talk about the park side of the things. So you, for $6,000, can go on this 2-day immersion of this Star Cruiser into Disney Star Wars. So you can pay for very cheap entertainment. Take your kids with you. Have your kids bunk right next to you. Be bored in these cantinas because there's nothing to do for kids. I mean, sure, you can do the cheap lightsaber training. What the hell is this? That's a cosplay gone wrong. And this is from Disney. Yeah, not doing too well either because there's a lot of openings to reserve dates. And I'm going to be making it's going to take a little bit while to really fine tune and get things out, but I'm going to make a video of the money that I can do with $6,000. I'm still trying to find a piece of software that will easily record from my mic to MP3 format. So once I find that program that's easy to use and kind of free is what I'm looking at. That's something I really want to do. Just comparisons. Like I can do a lot with 6,000. Let's take maybe an hour or 30 minutes or something to talk about it. $6,000. Yeah, not interested. Not interested at all. And again, they're trying to do whatever it takes to get people over there. Oh, Kylo Ren and Rey fight on the Star Cruiser. Oh, Han Solo and Princess Leia did their honeymoon on this Star Cruiser. The Star Cruiser is going to be in the High Republic. So great. Now Canon has to have a template to sell products, to sell these theme parks. We saw it with Galaxy's Edge. And now we're seeing it with this I don't even know what to call it anymore. A rip off something. I don't know. It's whatever. I just don't care. Star Wars is in a really, really bad state of affairs. And then obviously the comic side of things, it's not going great. It's not great going for the comics in general. And now the High Republic wanted to get into that market. And they can't even give these copies away. They can't even give it away. So I'm just looking at the lightsaber blades here to see how many copies are behind this one. That's at least, I would say, 4 copies. I would say that's probably a 5th copy right there. So maybe being generous, 10 copies left. They can't even give this away. They keep saying that, oh, the sequels, if you don't like it, then it's not for you. Okay? If you don't like the High Republic, it's not for you. Who is this for then, Disney? If you're saying it's not for me, then why would I spend $6,000 on a Star Cruiser? When you say it's not for me, but yet I am the only one in our age group that can actually afford $6,000. If you think it's for the younger kids, you know, they don't have enough money. They don't have a job or anything. They're just fucking kids. There's no way they're going to have $6,000 to go into this. And the kid might like it, but the parents may not be able to afford it. Tough luck. So I'm really confused on what Disney is doing with the marketing side of Star Wars. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. And then here we have Princess Leia is going to be in the Kenobi series. So we've gone from the video games to the comics to the theme parks, now to Disney Plus and the television shows. We're going to get Princess Leia in the Kenobi series. We're going to be back on Tatooine. We're going to see 2 fights from Kenobi and Darth Vader. Like, we're witnessing the complete destruction of a franchise across multiple platforms. Something I don't even think I've seen. Oh, and it gets even better, too. So now we've gone to Disney Plus, and now we've even gone to the collection side. We talked about this on the Triple C over on the Endless Collectibles channel with Tommy Tron TV from Geeks and Gamers. this Star Wars fan and collector states. This made me seriously contemplate skipping a figure. I never done that. I skipped reissues, but never a new character. This is not good, Hasbro. There really is no way to defend this. I'm still going to get it, just not happy about it. And the whole point of it is that when you look at this particular figure, this is the new assassin from the Book of Boba Fett. Well, if you do a little bit of digging, the main body is basically the same mold from Chewbacca, from the character from the Fallen Jedi Order, Chewbacca itself. And all they did was change the mold of the face a little bit, but also just colored the whole thing black. Same mold. And so, it goes back into that common trap of collecting, of trying to be a completist. Sometimes you just have to choose your battles when it comes to collecting. And now we're starting to see the failure of Star Wars from the toy front. So we go back. We saw the failure of the movies. Now we're seeing shows from the Book of Boba Fett to the upcoming Kenobi. From the Star Cruiser. Now to toys and collecting. Unreal what's happening with Star Wars. It is disintegrating on multiple different mediums and platforms. Comic books, manga. Can't even do manga right. Absolutely redonkulous. Redonkulous. Yeah, that's really all I gotta say about Star Wars. Absolutely nuts. Live in a very crazy world. Okay, so kind of the next topic I want to talk about is, so I'm a big fan of, like, how can I say this? I guess transportation is the best way to describe it. Planes, trains, automobiles. And so I got into, like, collecting aircraft a while ago, and I got super nerdy into tail spotting and the different types of aircrafts and so forth. And I'm not going to go too much into the whole Ukraine-Russia thing because I'm definitely staying away from politics, especially when it comes to that. I am a person that I try to bring escapism and try to defend escapism and call out people who are destroying escapism content. So I'm going to share to you guys kind of one of my favorite aircraft in the world, and that's the Antonov 225. So if you guys don't know, this thing is a beast. Before a couple of weeks ago, this was the largest aircraft in the world by weight, to my understanding. Wingspan, I think the Spruce Goose has the greatest wingspan, but to present day, this is the biggest aircraft. And during college, I actually did a presentation on this aircraft that kind of like takeoff weight and so forth. And I actually have a couple models of this aircraft. It is 1/500 scale, I believe, from Dragon Wings. And I also have a 1/5 scale kind of a diorama of this guy. It is a pretty aircraft with the dual tail fins in the back here to 6 monstrous engines to all the wheels. This aircraft is one of a kind too, from the Antonov fleet in Ukraine. And originally this aircraft was, you can kind of see the inside here. This opening. This aircraft has done so many missions. It has, because of its unique cargo capabilities, it's able to do a wide variety of airlift missions, from semi-trucks to tanks to humanitarian aid missions to generators to a whole bunch of important peacetime operations, because this aircraft was kind of the only one to do those type of missions. And originally it was built for the Soviet Union to do the Mira program, if I remember correctly. This was the space shuttle equivalent to the Soviet Union. And so, here in the U.S. we had the 747 that had the piggyback of our space shuttles. This was going to be the piggyback for the Russian, or excuse me, the Soviet Union space shuttle program before it was scrapped. And so that was the original intent. But then when the Soviet Union collapsed, Ukraine then became independent and got the Antonov fleet. And unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, it was destroyed and confirmed destroyed. This is so tough for me because I've seen so many videos seeing what this thing can do, and now I can't see this in person. It was one of my biggest bucket list items to try to see the AN-225 in person when it was touring Europe or touring Asia or just trying to get an opportunity to see it. And it's just heartbreaking. To see progress destroyed. Humanity is much better than this. I have faith that this will get rebuilt. There is a body frame of a second one that was, if it survived, I'm not even sure if it survived. But the biggest takeaway from this, we should not be regressive. Humanity as a whole. We need to be progressive in technology. That's why I report so much on SpaceX, because that is the next progressive way forward. When this thing was built, it was state of the art of its time, the biggest in the world. And to see this destruction, it's just an example of when humanity regresses. The fact that it went from the biggest aircraft in the world to just a shattered wreck. It's heartbreaking. And you can see just how big this aircraft is. I love this aircraft. I really did. I love humanity's obsession with progress to make things bigger, badder, faster. But I am very thankful because we do have people that care. We do have humanity that does care. The 225, it's just a machine, but I mean, some people may say it's just a machine. But the way I look at it is that it's progress. It's a symbol of progress. That's probably why it was targeted and destroyed. But the will to move forward, to survive, I think that speaks a lot. And I know in my heart that aircraft will definitely remain in the hearts of all those hardcore tailfanners to modders. What's cool about technology nowadays is that we can still live and keep the memories of things that we love. Like that 225, I am very, very happy that I can still buy models of that aircraft, that we've got plenty and plethora of videos that show it in action. And I think with that, we'll be able to rebuild the once biggest aircraft in the world. Just a shame. But that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about when it comes to this mess. So let's go ahead and look at progress. Let's go ahead and talk about space, the final frontier. All right, so this is pretty cool. NASA has started building Europa Clipper spacecraft that will launch in 2024. So sending a craft out there to explore one of many Jupiter's moons. The journey to the ocean world. So definitely excited for that one. Definitely excited. And this is pretty cool too. So this was a Falcon 9 rocket that took off from Vandenberg Space Force Base and landed on this particular pad. It's pretty cool because when this Falcon 9 booster comes back in, you hear and feel a sonic boom. Yeah, definitely something that quite staggering. This was pretty cool. This gives you a size comparison between the sun and the United States. You can see the United States silhouette there on the bottom right-hand corner here. And this is like a small little heat spot of the surface of the sun. Just to show you how big the sun is. Yeah, mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And then our wonderful little Perseverance taking some pictures of Mars. So cool. So cool. So now let's talk about the James Webb Telescope. So what's the latest on it? So again, it is at the L2 Lagrange point. And right now, NASA's basically taking some snapshots of photos, as you can see here. And I'll show you another picture of it. But all these mirrors are independent right now, taking pictures. And eventually what they want to do is focus on secondary mirrors so that way they can get one clean, crisp image. So right now, the James Webb is still calibrating. So again, that will be this picture right here. So this is from the James Webb Telescope. And you can see all the individual honeycomb mirrors taking a photo of one particular area. And now they just need to calibrate it. To unfold the universe. To unfold the universe. I thought this was pretty cool too. So every 8 years, Earth and Venus do a dance that will creates the image. It is so called the Rose of Venus. So pretty. Every 8 years. So yeah, we just completed that cycle, and now we just created the rose. So 2023, 2031, the next rose will be created. So cool. And this is another view of a Falcon 9 landing. I think this is going to land on the barge. Yep. And there it is. Money. Money. That is so cool. I love what SpaceX is doing. It is definitely the future. Definitely the future. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about some other random topics here. So we got one here that 20th Century Studios will be producing 10 plus movies a year for streaming and will release 2 to 3 movies in theaters. And this is kind of interesting because, it goes back to that question: is legacy media dying off? Is legacy media dying off? Because everyone's trying to do the streaming wars, essentially. And I don't think they can catch up to YouTube. We can create content like no one's business. We can create it for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. endless plethora of content on YouTube, on Twitch. I think the studios are hurting. I think the studios are definitely hurting. I may do a video on this on the Endless Collectibles channel, but poor, oh man, poor freaking Pikachu. They made him into some sort of Lego bear thing. So apparently it's a bear brick, and this thing got memed to hell and back. This thing got memed to hell and back. It's just great. Like, this is glorious right here. Because that's definitely not how I remember Pikachu. Oh, that's great. Um, yeah, and we got news that after 25 years, the final episode of Author was today. That man, I definitely feel old. 25 years. I remember growing up with Author. That was a really good show. And then I just end up growing out of it. Found anime, Toonami, Fox Kids, Foxbox, Cartoon Network. Yeah, that was a good show. In the early years. In the early years. I think that is everything. So, yep, definitely a much more shorter episode today. Not really a whole bunch in ways of content. I'm not going to see the Batman. The Batman just looks, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the casting. I heard it was definitely kind of 50-50 mix. I hear people really, really like it because of the dark noir nostalgia to it. Um, Others actually just don't like the writing and how it ended. That it actually had a really bad third act, which, considering how long this movie is, I am really picky about my time. And so to watch a almost 3 hour movie, it's just not for me. I do like the magical like 2 hour, 10 minute long movies. I think that's really ideal for me, just for time. But definitely not 3 hours. It's got to be really, really good to be for me to go watch it, like Lord of the Rings and so forth. But yeah, definitely the Batman's been all the craze lately. But yeah, don't think there's really much more to talk about. So what is coming up? So over on the Mythical Railroad channel, I've got a couple more videos that are going to be coming out. Went to a train show, which I'm definitely happy about, and I'll be doing a video on that. On this channel, I'm going to try to get some more manga spotlight videos out. Been kind of taking it easy, trying to just do one video a day. I've got at least 4 mangas that I need to catch up on. And speaking of manga, on Monday, got the Mangaverse podcast. I've got another manga haul that I had today. Had a few more manga books to come in as well that I'm excited for. And then we'll talk about some manga news because there's been some manga news spurring about. So again, that'll be on Monday. No confirmation on when the Triple C will happen. I still got to hash out a date with the Geeky Crochet. Been kind of super busy lately, so I haven't been able to flush out a time. Probably be the last week of March is what I'm going to try to do. And like I said, that'll probably end up being the last one until the fall for March. Or, yeah, this month. So, because I will be moving in April. April will be the first month that we're packing things up. And then the summertime, we got to get the house on the market or prepped for the market and get it sold in the market so I can do my Cal exit officially. And then this studio will get packed up. The isolate and basically all my content will be on hold until we move into a new place, and so that may take about a month. So, but yeah, and then we'll be right back here with episode 21 of the Icy Layer podcast. So that is all that I have for you folks today. Again, kind of a short one, not too much to talk about on my front of the popular culture. I do appreciate everyone watching this, and feel free to leave a comment down below, like if you liked this podcast.